What's going on YouTube? Welcome back to another video, and in this video we are going to be discussing coordination and appliance. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So when it comes to coordination and appliance, the main point that I want to discuss about this is that when we talk about being coordinated and being in our application, the number one example I want to use is footwork. The thing about footwork is when you get in front of a ladder or you get in front of some cones and you start to apply your feet and your legs to a specific movement, it's so much of it gets to a point where your body, your conscious mind can't keep up with the function itself. So other parts of your mind and brain start to take over and they have to complete the functions for you. It's like motor neurons. It gets to a point to where the things that you do unconsciously or in rhythm, like say shooting a basketball, eventually comes to a point to where once you shoot a basketball, 1,000 times every single day, it becomes unconscious. And what really takes over is other parts of the brain that make this function happen. And it's the same thing that happens in terms of when you work out, when you're working out correctly, right? There's two ways to work out. There's working out, to kill yourself in the gym and activating muscles, right? And you're going for your inner strength, right? But then there's also building muscle, and there's bulking. When you're bulking, your ability to complete a rep gets to a point to where it's not based on your conscience, where it's actually based on your own muscle. It's based on the peripheral nervous system in your biceps, right? So it's literally your biceps' ability to make that curl happen, right? It has nothing to do with your conscience. So the main point about this video, when we talk about coordination and appliance, is the fact that when you get into a function, and you start training yourself in a function, it's a matter of first time and attention. The longer you stay within the function under a specific amount of time, the more keen you get at completing that rep over and over and over again. And then it gets to a point where it becomes unconscious. And when you can perform a specific function unconsciously, then that becomes nonchalant, and that's what you want. You want to be able to perform functions nonchalantly. That way you can mentally go deeper in your own mind and be able to focus on more specific thing, anticipating, and reading and IQ, right? You can focus on these things while unconsciously performing the function, right? Just like ball handling, for example, right? The more you practice your ball handling, specifically combos or even your freestyle dribbling, the more you can focus on other things in the game, right? So, and that was just a little nugget that I just dropped right there. Anyway, so this is the importance of these motor skills of motor neurons, right? And your ability to train yourself in functions like this, right? Because your conscious mind isn't what's active right now, right? It's parts of your body that are active, right? And that's what you want. You want to be able to perform functions nonchalantly, right? With your conscious mind not having to, not having to focus energy on your conscious mind, right? That way you can focus on other things, right? And it's best not to overthink, right? You don't have to overthink things when you train something to perform a specific way, right? Basically, when it comes to the physical, there's always a limit. Everything physical has limitations, right? But the mind doesn't. So when you train a specific function, basically, to perform a certain way, you can focus more on anticipation. You can focus more on reads, your IQ, and of course all types of things like this, right? So that's the nature of this video right here. I'm not gonna keep it too long. I'm gonna keep it short and simple. Um, this is the video on coordination and appliance. Hopefully this deep video right here can help somebody in terms of just your growth, and what I'm saying, just growing yourself in a certain way, right? But anyway, now let's get into the last phase of this video. We want to break down. We want to conclude this video and go ahead and recap, and just give some examples of what we just learned, right? So coordination and appliance, right? So the last thing I want to talk about with this right here is that in coordination and appliance, putting these into, when you talk about time of attention and training things, it becomes that much more organized, or easier to organize things mentally when you have specific skills and attributes and techniques that have been trained under time of attention, that can nonchalantly and unconsciously be utilized in order to perform a specific function, right? So when you get into certain specific technical functions, or you're organizing and planning, or whatever, and you have a lot of things you're juggling, and you have to organize these things, it becomes a little bit easier to organize things and prepare yourself for a specific function, based off the fact that you've trained time and attention, and you're conscious of the fact that your body can perform the function on its own, right? And you can mentally hone in and lock in on other things, right? So that's going to conclude this video right here. Hopefully this video is of use and can help somebody. Peace and love. We out, man.